Hi guys, my name is Bimpe. Let's make this dress together. Let's cut and sew this gown style together. So my client sent this style to me. She said she wants to recreate this style. So let's get started. So firstly, I'm marking a straight line, which is the shoulder line. Then from there, we'll be getting my bust points, my under bust, and my half length. This is me drafting the upper part of the dress. So I'm connecting the lines together like that. So the next thing now is to take the shoulder measurement. So that's my shoulder divided by 2. Then I'll add half inches for the joining allowance. Then I'll be measuring 3 inches. I'm coming down by 1 inches for the depth of the neck. So I'm connecting it to the shoulder line like that. Then I'll be coming down by 1 inches for the slope of the shoulder. And I'll also connect that out. So the next thing is to mark the armhole. To get the armhole, I used the measurement of bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. So that's 7.5. So my armhole is 7.5. I'll mark that. I'll connect it. I'm trying to make it a straight line. So after getting that, after marking the armhole just like that, the next thing is to get the front armhole curve. So to get that, I'll do my armhole divided by 2. So 7.5 divided by 2. I'll get the point and I'll come in by half inches. Then I'll use my ruler to connect it. Now I'll also mark my back armhole with the initial measurements. So the next thing to do now is to take my body measurements. So for that, I'll be using my bust divided by 4. So I'll mark that down. And the under bust divided by 4. I mark that down. And the half length divided by 4. After getting that, the style has that, so I'll be adding 1 inches that to the half length and the under bust, connect it to the armhole, then add my allowance. So I'll be adding half inches to the length of the body of the dress, then 1.5 inches to the side. Then I'll connect it together. So that's all for the cutting. So let's cut it out. So I'll be using the back to cut the front. This is actually the front. I'm using the front to cut the back. So I'll be adding 1 inches allowance for the zipper allowance. So just place something in it and cut it out. So this is me cutting the back of the dress. So the only thing you're adding is just the 1 inches for the zipper allowance. So you have to open the zipper allowance like that. Then you cut the facing. I'm trying to look at this style to be sure I'm still doing the right thing. So just cut the facing for the back. Just fold it into 2 and just cut facing for it. So just cut it by, I think I used 2.5 or 3 inches. Just cut the facing. Just make it not so much, just like that. Just pin it down and tag it back so that you want. So let's keep that aside. So now to the front, we need to remove the front design. So I'm coming down by 7 inches. I don't want it to go too deep. I measured 7 inches at first. Then for the neck, I added 1.5 more to it so that the neck depth was initially 1. So I added 1.5 to it so that it will be 2.5 and I connect it out. So that'll be the front neck depth. So the 7 inches, I feel like it will be too much. So I come back up by half inches. So that means I come down by 6.5 inches. Then from there, to get the point, I use 3.5. I use a nipple to nipple divided by 2. So from that 3.5, on the next side, I came in by 1.5 inches. After making the dress, I discovered that it's a bit wider than the way it should. So I think you should go in by 1 inches if you're making yours. So just go in by 1 inches, then connect it to the 3.5 that you measure over there. So I just cut it out and then I also cut the armhole out. Then this is what it's looking like. So I use 1.5 to cut my opening here, so I think you should use 1 inch so that it won't be that wide. So this is me cutting the facing for the front. I did not cut it to be close to the neck side, so that I would have this freedom when I'm sewing it. So I just added few allowance to it, so by the time I place it on each other, it won't be running away from each other. It will lay on it and I'll be able to stitch exactly where I'm meant to stitch on. So that's it for the front part. So the next part is to do the skirt part, which is the middle part of the dress. So now I'll be starting from the half length I measure. So I'll be measuring from my half length to a new length. So that's me adding. I'm trying to make the line straight. The line I used earlier was not straight, so I will measure it. So this measurement is for my half length to a new length, and I added 1 inches allowance for the joining allowance. And we're going to use half inches to join it at the upper part and half inches to join it at the lower part. So after that, I measure the hip length. So now we have the waist length, the hip length, and the full length. So the next thing to do now is to do the waist divided by 4, mark it down, the hip divided by 4, mark it down, and for the down part, we're going to do the hip divided by 4 minus 1.5 to get the down part of the skirt part. So after that, we're going to add our 1 inches allowance for the dart, because the back of this skirt has that. So we're going to add 1 inch. We're going to remove it later for the front, but for now, let us add it and add our 1.5 inches allowance to the rest of the body. Just add the 1.5 inches. So the upper part, we added 2.5 because we have 1 inches for the dart and 1.5 inches for the allowance. So the next thing to do is to connect it together. So from this style, the style has a slit at the front, which means we'll be adding 1 inches allowance to the front side. So that's the 1 inches, and the 1 inches is also equivalent to the 1 inches we need to add to the back. So the back will be exactly the same as the front. So I'm trying to connect the 1 inches that I added and blending the lines together. So I'll be cutting it out now. This is the front part. So we are going to use that to cut the back. So we won't be adding the zipper allowance because the 1 inches we added for the slit at the front is equivalent to the zip allowance at the back. So we'll just be cutting the exact thing right now. So I tagged the both sides, the front and the back side, and I opened the middle. I did the same for the front as well. So that's for the zipper allowance. And for the front, firstly I'm going to remove because there's no dart at the front part, so I'm going to remove the 1 inches that we added and connect it to the hip part. That is not needed at the front part, so I'm going to cut that away. Just cut it like that, and I'll open the slit at the front as well. So that's all for the middle part. The next thing now is to cut the down part of the dress. So we have 2 pleats. We have one gathers and we have one kissing pleat. So I'll be cutting the kissing pleat first. That is longer. So I make use of 10 inches. The next thing to cut is the gathers. For the gathers, I make use of 4 inches. So I cut a very long 4 inches for the gathers. From this style, the next thing to cut is the sleeve. So to get the sleeve, we're going to measure the armhole that we cut. So I'll be folding the fabric into 4, just like that. I'm getting my starting point. From there, I'll be taking the length of the measurement. Since the length of the sleeve is 3/4, I'll be taking the length of the measurement and I'll be making my curve, measure it to confirm the length, so I have exactly what I need. Yeah. So from the down part, I will take the measurements, take the sleeve measurement, mark it, add my allowance at the lower part to take the measurement and add my allowance and connect it. So that's all for the sleeve, and I just cut it off. That's all for the cutting. If you have any question, you can ask me in the comment section, and I'll be posting another video for the sewing. I don't want the video to be too long, so we're posting another video. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you're going to know when I post new videos. Thank you so much. I love you guys.